Hello, welcome back to week 32 of the West Marches. And so we have our crew ready to head out for their adventure. Darius, what do you do when you find Tilly tailing you?
I'm assuming that we're all like leaving the tavern now. You know, we paid our drinks. Sam has his egg that he wants to hatch. Or Gahan, I mean, has his egg he wants to hatch. And as we're leaving, I sort of like, oh, you're muted. You're muted.
I sort of swaddled back up on my back, like strapped
Yeah.
up.
So as we're like walking out, I try to slip into the shadows, because I know that Tilly's following behind me, and I'm gonna try and like go around to behind her to sort of like sneak up on her. That sounds really awkward when I say it like that, but yeah.
You're trying
Like,
to
I'm pretty much-
counter
She's been in
stealth
this situation before.
I see you're trying to sneak up on me. I'm gonna sneak up on you.
I'll sort of just like cut her off and just be like, yeah, why are you following me again? So should I roll stealth or just do it?
Yeah, let's see how this plays out. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Watch me fail a stealth.
Oh, 24 is pretty good. Tilly, give me your perception.
So 7.
So, I think you may have won this one, Darius. Yeah, what do you do?
So, like, as Tilly goes around a corner, I'm just standing there, like, staring, like, just straight down into her face. Like, she can't, like, if she tries to run or get away, like, he's just gonna reach out and grab her if she can, or if he can. But, and then I look down at her, I'm like, why are you following me? What do you want?
I am startled, obviously. And I obviously see my better here, stealth-wise. I look up and I kind of look back down and I just say, I'm very sorry. Not very many people have been this nice to me. And I just look up into your eyes, and my eyes are a little bit watery. Yeah. I say, I'm sorry. If there's a way I can help. I look back down. I don't know what I can do, and I kind of twiddle my feet. But I'm
Small as violin.
yeah. But I wanted to say thank you, and I wanted to help you somehow.
Well, he sort of
Please.
just like
Please,
sighs.
I look at you. I just say please with like the most plea. I've got nowhere else to go.
Oh, okay. Well, what he does is he reaches out, grabs her shoulder, and like sort of turns her and pushes her, and he's like, "Okay, you're coming with us then." It's like you can repay me by helping us. So we'll tell you about it later. Just follow my lead.
As this is
Keep
going
it
down,
low.
I'm like walking past with Gregory, and I'm like, God, I hope we get someone who's experienced with adventure and not a fucking crybaby.
So I say to as I see Tilly, I say to Gahan, I'm like, Gahan, look, it's Bardrick.
Oh yeah! All right, Bardrick.
Like little wave.
I raise my hand.
I high five you.
Wait, are you
I
high
look at
fiving
it.
me?
No,
No, I'm just raising my
like,
hand, and you just high fived it.
Oh.
And I just kind of look at my hand. I pull my hand back. My name's actually Tilly. Who I don't know
Like squint,
a
lean.
Bardo.
Is this because we're pissed?
Oh hey, look. No, it's different, short person. I'm sorry. Who are you? And I like put my hand out.
Like shaking, like going to shake my hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I reach up to shake your hand. I'm Tilly. I wanted to help.
I like ruffle her hair and I slap her on the back. I'm like, she's coming with us. She owes me. So,
I give you a sort of look, like I'm not sure about your character. What's your character's name again? I don't want to mess it up. Grigori.
Darius? Or, oh,
Grigori,
Grigori.
yeah.
Grigori. I kind of look up and give you like a questioning kind of look, but you seem nice, so I'm reaching out my hand. But you can tell my hands are shaking a little bit. So you can it will tremble.
I shake your hand too, and I'm huge, so I like get your whole like hand and probably part of your wrist in my palm, and I like shake your hand. And there's definitely a moment where all three of us are kind of doing the awkward like looking at each other thing, because when Darius is like, "Yeah, she owes me a favor," and I'm like, okay.
I'm oblivious to whatever you might be thinking in that realm. So
Yeah. And I just like I wink at Darius.
And I roll my. I'm not like that, man. Not this time, at least. Every other time, probably right. Not like that, man.
Oh yes, of course. It's important to bring delicious trail rations along. It's fine. Keep morale up.
She gave me 40 gold.
Oh, why would you? You're not supposed to tell
It was
them.
I'm
it was
sure
really
she
nice.
did.
It was really nice of her.
I'm like, oh, I get it. I
I'm
get
a
it.
he.
It's half price.
I'm a he. You just called me a she.
Oh, sorry, he. My bad. I apologize.
It's not getting better, so I just start to walk away. I go. I see one of the ladies that's just completely drunk and was hitting on me, and I just immediately walk towards her and start hitting on her.
Yeah, and I think to sort of end it and to try to like put everybody at ease, like I like give you a little like head ruffle, Tilly. I'm like, okay, half price, you can come along.
You see the very faint semblance of a smile on the edge of her lips, like, oh, that's super nice, but not a full smile. But she nods at you.
Gahan's walking away, but he's laughing, and he's just going, "Oh, Bryce."
I still look really confused. Still, he's very confused and points and says, "Who's the laughing man?"
Are you with me now?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm looking at you.
You're with me to go hit on some chick that's like.
Oh, my bad. That's right. You had walked away. I looked to
Okay.
Grigori.
I'm
then.
still
you
there.
can
if you
follow.
wanna ask. Yeah.
No, I ask Grigori then. Who is that laughing man over there?
Yeah, I'm like, you have not heard stories of Gahan the Mighty, Gahan the Brave, Gahan who faced down 3 great worms at once, Gahan Wizard Slayer. Look at him, even from behind he's majestic.
I'm like picking my nose.
Yeah, totally.
I got this weird hump
eyes
on your back.
My
I
eyes
just
are
wanna hear
wide
this as I'm
at
walking
these
away.
stories. I'm like blown away. My eyes are super wide. I'm looking at him and he's picking his nose, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not from around here. He does look formidable.
Yeah, and I lean down, like I get down on one knee, and I'm like, that man is the only man in all the land I would trust to have my back. He has a sword 15 times taller than you are. And there are some who call him Magloop. But you shouldn't do that. He'll get very mad. We'll keep that between us.
Wow.
Okay, I'm just happy to help. And I look back down and I kind of take a step back and I keep looking up at not Darius. Geez, I'm still trying to get the names. Gahan. I keep looking back at Gahan and keep looking down and back up at him. You just like you've mind fucked me completely. Like I'm just like I don't know what to think.
I'm just surveying.
Yeah.
the
Yep.
land.
Sort of like hitting on the chick and like looking back to make sure like Tilly's still there and hasn't run or like passed out or something. And then like I see them looking at Gahan, so I look at Gahan and I'm just like, what is he doing? Why is he picking his nose? What the? Like, and then the lady starts to get in what?
Yeah, will you give me like a charisma roll?
Okay. Where's that at? Oh wait.
You can just click the check mark next to the charisma score. 18. Yeah, she's pretty into you. Like she thinks your friends are weird, but she's like she understands that you're obviously like the alpha male of the group. She's like, oh yeah, okay.
Darius is the alpha male.
Yeah.
Well, he's playing it up, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I start to like try and talk her back into going to her place if she has one. I don't know, maybe she doesn't. So
She has a place, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
While
And
this
if
is happening, I wanna walk up in the middle of while this is happening.
Yeah, she's saying something like,
See what Darius.
"Oh, I need to go churn butter."
Like I don't get it. I'm already like drunk, so I'm like, wait, why do you have to? No, I want to sleep with. Why are you gonna go? Really? And I don't even care that like Tilly's walking up and hearing any of this. No. Butter? Are you gonna make pancakes? Like,
What do you do? Yeah, pancakes. What do you do when you walk up, Tilly?
I try to interject in somewhere in between. I'm kind of raising my hand, putting it down, raising it, and then finally I find a way to come out and I say, Mr. Darius, are you helping this woman like you helped me?
She looks down at you and she's like, "Oh, Oh, you have
Gosh.
a younger sister? Some sort of strange animal following you?
Oh no, I am a halfling, and Mr. Darius here paid me money and helped me, and I'm ever so thankful.
Ah,
I
and
just-
you see like her face sort of change as she's processing what's like this very young looking small halfling. Darius, yeah, paid me money for some help. Yeah, she's says, ah,
He doesn't
Um,
even try. He doesn't even try to make it better. He just sort of just like is.
I just wanted to
Yes,
let you know that
yes.
our friends are your friends are leaving.
oh,
Yeah, so
your
back,
friends
back
are
up
leaving. You know, I think you should catch up with them. I
I was gonna
think.
say back up the trail. Like Gallahan and I are I look back and they're so far away, and I say to Gallahan, I'm like, man, adventure became sex farce so quickly this time. Normally, several hours, we at least leave town before all of this bullshit.
Record time.
I grow.
I'll note it in the book.
I like visibly grow annoyed by the situation because he was kind of hoping, and then whenever the woman just starts to like back away, he just sort of like pushes her out of the way and grabs Tilly by the shoulder and we walk in the direction of Gallahan.
Yeah. All right. The woman walks off into the growing sunset.
And I look down to Tilly and I'm like, you probably shouldn't tell people I paid you.
Oh,
Just saying.
okay, yes, of course.
Let's keep that between us, kid.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Nice. So y'all are setting out. Where are you headed?
We
Well-
are headed to the 3 giant serpents.
Are we really?
Mhm.
Oh goodness, we're going back there.
Yep.
Very cool. So yeah, y'all are about here-ish or so. Gallahan, you're leading the party?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you give me a roll, either stealth, survival, or athletics, for determining how you're moving across the world here.
Is it just a D100?
No, it's a D20. It's a chest test against your stealth, survival, or athletics.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do athletics.
Cool.
Do I add my athletics roll?
Yeah, just click the
You
athletics.
should be able to
button.
click it on your
All
sheet.
right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're all gonna remember a little bit of how to play. Whoa, damn!
Oh,
How to
shit,
play
yeah.
some Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so you've earned 5 travel actions over the next 3 days of travel, and you can
Good.
spend 1 travel action to either endure marching through difficult weather with no cost. You can increase your pace and gain 1 day of movement. You can motivate to give your party advantage on athletics and acrobatics test for an hour. As a bonus action, you can spend a day in order to. You can gain 1 day of movement by accepting 1 level of exhaustion, but you don't want to do that. And because you rolled higher, you can brute force to find yourself a safe camp anytime over the next 3 days. So, yes, let me get the encounter sheets for the region that you're in.
Oh my god, that's the ultimate crit.
That is the ultimate crit. You did it up.
I wasted it.
Good job.
Yeah. We're wasting our good rolls now. We're gonna get in a fight and get all like 2s and 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so yes, I need you to roll 1d100 twice. No, 3 times.
All right.
Oh, do we get any XP for? Help me understand the XP quest thing while he's rolling. Does anybody get XP for agreeing to the quest?
Oh,
Yes, everybody does. Immediately gains XP. So let me look that up specifically.
Give me that.
So yeah, as soon as you guys talked about it and decided, yeah, this is what we want to do.
I rolled a 97, boys. We're in trouble.
That's a good one.
Oh no.
Yeah. So okay.
We did.
Encounters mean things to kill. Things to kill mean experience points.
I mean,
kids.
that higher number normally means like a deity of some kind. But
Wicked. That's good.
Things to kill,
auspicious
boys.
Start. Yeah. Let's
do it.
I've never killed a god before.
Gallahan, you're level 4, right?
correct.
Okay. Looking for some experience points. Is there not a list by CR? No, there's not. Okay, that's fine. There we go. Yes. Each of you gains 175 experience points.
Okay.
Yeah, so mark that down now. You gain it now.
How
You
much
got
was that,
it.
sorry? 175?
175, yes. Good. Okay. Oh, excellent. Okay. That's very interesting. Wow, 96.
What?
Interesting.
Don't
Okay.
say that.
You're walking across the plains, heading for the Udin foothills to the northwest. You're making good time and marching swiftly. What's the marching order? Gahan leading the group.
Gallahan, then Gregory, then Darius and Tilly, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd
Tilly,
say that
is
like
Tilly at the very back?
no,
Yeah.
I'd say we're like side by side.
Yeah,
Like
I think so.
he was like grabbing her shoulder still whenever they were walking
Yes.
away. So
I would assume you wouldn't let a stranger on your back, especially one so small.
yeah, and
right
if
off the
anything, he's gonna probably
Well, we're out in the open, so we can take like a more like diamond shaped. Like we don't have to be. We're not crammed into a hallway, so it's not like one or two wide. So we're probably not like a tight military formation. We're probably just sort of loose.
Yeah.
Gallahan's up front, and we're kind of like spread out behind him.
Yeah.
I always try to stay like within like 30 feet of Gallahan, so that if something bad happens, I can run up to him and heal him. But otherwise,
I try to stay behind him so if something happens, I can use him as a shield.
So let's see.
So-
Gallahan's leading the group. Who's like the lookout?
I guess I will be.
Okay, Darius, give me a perception test.
yeah, whoever's got the highest perception definitely should do that.
Nice, nail it. Okay, so I think probably Darius,
Man,
you're
Pocket, you're really good at D&D.
yeah. Darius, you're probably, you've been out a couple times. You've been traveling around this region enough that you're familiar with how you need to behave as the lookout. So you're probably like trying to get to high spots regularly, and you're sort of maybe going a little bit away from the group in order to get up on hills and things. So during one of your processions away from the party, you end up on top of a hill overlooking a nearby valley. And down below, probably maybe 400, 500 feet away, you see something very strange. You see like animals, like boars and wolves and deer and like large duck-like creatures. They're all sort of walking, but they're all dancing and prancing. And in the middle of them,
They're
there
dancing?
are
Okay.
they're sort of like that.
You ever seen
that
Snow
video-
White?
Yeah, you know that video of the Sheba that's like dancing like this. That's
Yeah.
kind of what they're doing. And in the middle of this large cluster of animals that are dancing, and they're all moving in a direction. They're moving to the left of you as you look. In the middle, there's a young man sitting on a palanquin that looks like it's carved out of a white wood, and that's being carried by 4 beautiful-looking elven-like creatures. They're not elves. They look distinctly more strange. Their proportions are a little weird, like their limbs are a little bit too long and their faces are a little bit too narrow and pinched. But yeah,
Are they
you see
clothed?
these. I think they look like they're wearing like vines around their bodies.
So they're
Yeah.
probably like woodsy type things.
Nymphs or some
Nymphs.
shit.
Yeah.
And they're carrying this palanquin, and there's this young man just sitting kind of dazed on top of it.
Okay.
What do you do?
And that's about 400 feet in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I immediately rejoin the group and point out that, guys, right ahead, it's nutty. You won't believe me if I told you.
Well,
I'm just looking up at her, just like,
perhaps you should try anyhow.
So, animals are dancing? I've never seen animals dance, but they're dancing, I swear. And then in between them, like, someone being carried by 4, I don't even know, man. They look kind of like elves, but they also don't. They have, like, let's be careful. Let's be careful.
And did they notice you? Did you get seen
No.
or?
No. I saw them. They didn't see me. I was, hidden.
Okay.
Do I need
Well-
to spell?
As much as dancing animal elf party sounds interesting, Seems dangerous to me. Maybe we wait until they pass before we continue. And I look at Gahan.
Hey, I take your advice, Doc, at every opportunity. So, hunker down.
Can we hear like music or anything? Or are they just like
Yeah. Are they chanting or anything?
Yeah, I think once you kind of stop and maybe get to a closer or vantage point or something like that, you're all well out of sight of them. But yeah, you can actually sort of hear like trumpeting and grunting sounds from the animals and sort of weird wild ululations emanating from the elfin creatures.
I'd like to party as much as the next guy, but elf parties are not good parties. We should be careful. I don't want anyone getting bewitched or ensorcelled or anything.
I agree.
That stuff's a nightmare to get rid of.
I'm just sort of staring because I still can't believe like what I'm seeing. Because I've seen a lot of weird shit, but not like this. So
Keep an eye on them. We'll stay out of the way. You're the sneakiest. And if it looks like they're coming our way or if they notice you, let us know. I think we'd best wait here till they're gone.
So are we just gonna camp here then? Or we'll just wait it out for a while?
Yeah, you've only been walking for like 2 hours or something like that, so you can just
okay.
kind of wait and then carry on. Yeah, okay, no problem. You end up waiting for a while as they end up sort of walking up a ridge of a hill near you, and they set down the palanquin and they all begin sort of dancing and sort of seething in a circle around this guy, but they're very, very distracted by what they're doing and they're not paying attention to you at all.
Okay.
I'm just tapping my foot.
I'm
Nice.
watching.
Stop it.
Yeah, I'm watching
I
Tilly
grab your
very
foot.
carefully.
I
I got my hands behind my head. I'm just kicking back.
I
on the
slowly
grass.
stop tapping my foot when everyone starts to draw people's attention. I'm just like click, click, click. Okay, and I just look down again.
Nice. All right, so you guys are just going to carry on.
think it's best not. It's really creepy, man. So.
Cool. Yeah, you end up marching onwards, and maybe 20 or 30 minutes later, you've taken some time to pass around their high location, and they're behind you now. And after a little while, you hear the echo of a cry that rings out sharply across the plains.
My Tilly immediately, like, quickly just grabs her
Yeah.
short bow on her back. Just grabs
Yeah.
it at the sound of it.
Yeah, I
It
put my
kind
hand
of gets
on, like,
low.
see, no, it's okay. That is the sound of us doing the right thing. Better whoever that was than us.
Yeah.
The elves found their victim. It was none of us. We can carry on with our quest.
Cool.
I see the logic in that, and I nod.
I pat her on the back and then start to walk on.
Do any of you look back?
I
I'd say
definitely do. As soon as I
I'd
hear
say
that
all of us
cry,
did,
wherever
or
it's
I
coming
did.
from, I react immediately.
Yeah. Okay. So Tilly looked back.
I'd say Darius did as well. He didn't grab his bow though.
Okay. When you look back, you see on the top of that hill now, there is that sort of seething mass of strange creatures and the four elf-like beings sort of wailing and raising their arms and dancing wildly. All around what was not there when you walked past it, a large oak tree that has erupted from the surface of this hill.
Damn.
I turn back and I say, the direction we were going, I say, shall we?
I just sort of like I just kind of look at it for a second and then just shake my head.
That's the spirit,
Good one.
Tilly. That's the spirit. Let's go.
Tilly doesn't like trees growing out of nowhere and dancing animals.
Giant ones with
Doesn't
dancing
even
things all
mention it.
around.
Yeah, doesn't even mention it. Shall we? Let's just
I
keep
saw
going.
it and just turned around. I don't even say anything because it's just like I think by this point the worst thing he's seen are 3 giant serpents popping out of the ground. So
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Very nice. Yeah. You continue.
Oh, I forgot. Would Darius have any knowledge of these elf-like creatures because he's half elf?
I don't think so. Like, give me a nature check.
Okay. Oh,
No, definitely not.
definitely not.
Darius
Okay.
has no idea. Darius is half elf, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. You carry on, and as you walk and you rise into the foothills, you see the Udrin Mountains rising up ahead of you, the Udrige Mountains, rather. And you start smelling the scent of sulfur on the air. And Gahan, Grigori, were you a part of the original group that found the serpents?
No,
No.
it was Gassy.
It was Darius, Gassy, Gahan, and Captain Coke.
Yeah.
Shield us, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Darius and Gahan. Both of you recognize the scent as just the scent of the hot springs, but you're nowhere near them, and it's quite strong, this smell. And as you climb into the hills, the sky starts turning a little bit yellow, and the light just fades, just very gently.
I squeak from the back. It wasn't me. That's all
Nice.
I say.
I laugh. And then I look at Gahan, and I just sort of shoot a look like, are you picking up on this? Like, do you
I look at
smell that?
Darius. And I'm like, we're too far away, right? This ain't right.
And I know, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still quite a ways. Yeah, we shouldn't be right here.
Something's wrong.
Should we go investigate? Do you want to? Okay, so is this on a hill? Or are we on flatland or something where like can we
You're
like walk up
climbing.
a hill?
You're climbing through hills, and so the
Okay.
entire terrain is sort of rising and mounding up on top of each other. You can get up on top of a hill, but you're definitely headed up.
Okay.
The general trajectory of your path is a climb.
Yeah, we
I,
need a better view of this.
Yeah, we
I
need a better
grab-
view.
Grigori's whatever he's wearing kind of tug on it.
My coat, yeah. Okay.
Coat. And I say, if you'd like, I can look around.
I'm a little like Darius is a little skeptical to send in Tilly because he knows that she's still new.
Green around
On the
the
job.
ankles.
Yeah. But he also kind of doesn't want to go in himself because last time he did that, he ended up having to spend like every round running.
True. Yep.
So
It's true. Yeah, there was a lizard man situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I sort of like shake my head and I say, no, we go together. We go together, we don't go.
Is that the two of you, or is it all four of you?
All four.
Okay, got it. Cool. Yeah, you guys climb up to a higher location, sort of a craggy outcropping. It's going to take you some time to get down from here, but you do have a little bit of a better vantage point. Could each of you give me perception checks?
Sure.
Oh man.
Hmm.
Wow.
Tilly, Darius, Gahan, and Grigori. Wow, okay. So I think from this vantage point, the only thing that you see is that sort of nestled between some of the hills nearby, you see small little natural springs that have sort of, you see the sources, and there are small rivulets running and then it's sort of diving into the earth at various places. And all of them are steaming.
Could I roll maybe survival or investigation to see if there's any tracks or any apparent
Yeah, absolutely.
movings about around us?
Yeah, I wanna either like we should work together on that. I want to make a survival check because it's like my best skill. But
Mine's
what do
not.
you-
My investigation's my best.
Okay, well, can I have Tilly help me on survival, or can I have someone help me on survival, and then we'll take the time to do the investigation if we find anything?
I'll
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so survival with advantage.
Yeah.
Didn't need it. I got 222.
22. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, absolutely. You take a look at the nearby surrounding terrain, and you can see very easily that the ground is all scuffed up by all sorts of tracks that you can see. None of them are human. All of them seem to have large claws or sort of large three-toed prints in the ground.
Like reptilian prints, or
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
As they're investigating, I take out some bread and start eating it while I'm like sitting next to Gahan.
Yeah. Just
Are we
taking a
looking-
chill.
So based on
I
how
just
deep,
reach over and grab a handful of it.
based on how deep the prints are and how they're spread out, are we looking at like heavy or light things? Like I'm trying to think, are these like two-legged creatures or four, and how heavy are they?
So let's see. I think there's a lot of prints. You can see all kinds of sort of smaller lizard prints, as well as the occasional larger, like what looks like a lizard man footprint. But there are other things here as well.
Are they all pointed in the same direction?
No, they're kind of milling back and forth. It looks like there are sort of lines of travel that do go between these hills, but it's not like a processional to any destination spot.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Tilly, why don't you give me an investigation check, and maybe you'll be able to parse more from these tracks.
Can anybody help Tilly on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I went ahead and clicked it.
Looks like you got an 18 though. That's
18's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so let's see. Tilly, you see not just the tracks of lizard men and lizards, but you also see the tracks of giant crocodiles, and you see a couple of scales, or not really scales, but a piece of dried skin that's been rubbed off against a rock. Looks like it came from some massive constrictor snake. Really, it seems like there are giant lizards, giant snakes, lizard men, all sorts of lizard-like creatures moving through this area. One thing that you see that surprises you, Tilly, is that there are no signs of combat or violence or predation amongst the tracks that you're looking at.
No signs of scuffle or blood or anything.
Exactly.
I go ahead and pull on Darius's cloak or his whatever he's wearing, and I point to the scales, and I just kind of look back up like, what do you think?
And these scales are too small to be the snakes, yeah?
No, these are the snake scales, I believe.
They're too small.
Large?
Darius,
they're too
you
small.
recognize them as too small for the serpents.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the
woe.
serpents.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, for a snake, this is actually a very large piece of skin.
I move away from you and I start I touch the ground and I kind of smell in the air, and I look over at Grigori and I say, Is it uncommon for them to be so amiable with each other?
Yes. Snakes don't get along.
Yeah.
I look and I'm like, yeah.
I'm
it
like
looks-
eating next to Gahan still and just like trying to process like what it is, because I know it's not the serpents that we're seeking, but it smells like this is the area that they're in.
I get on my stomach and I start to kind of slide back and forth, and then I stand back up and I look at it, and then I lay back down and I start to use my legs then with it, and I stand back up and I say that I think there are maybe snakes, or perhaps snakes with legs. I see both. There's more than one thing here, and I kind of look away a little bit, almost shyly.
Yeah, Tilly, when you get down that second time, you end up face to face on the ground with a large footprint of the kind that you have never encountered before. It's about the size of your face, large, flat. The grasses have all been pressed and ground into the earth. The front has 3 heavy divots in it. And you look forwards now with this new information, and you can see that some very large beast was walking through here on 4 limbs.
Yeah, when I look at it, I kind of just take my hand and kind of place it over it and pull it back. And I have a look of definitely of apprehension in my eyes when I look to the group and explain to them. Yeah,
when you hold your little halfling hand up, and I'm like, don't worry, Tilly, your hands are tiny. It's not as big as it looks.
That's what she said.
It's true.
I laugh. I giggle when you say that. I'm just in the bag eating, and I just chuckle.
I laugh nervously as if I'm trying to get the joke, but I don't find it that funny, and I'm like trying to fit in.
Right.
Gahan's got his greatsword like thrown over his shoulder, and he just kind of slaps Grigori on the back, and he's like, "Where are we going, Doc?"
Well, looks like we're going in the right direction. These serpents of yours maybe are putting out call to followers. These things happen sometimes. A powerful entity draws in things like it. It's why you see kobolds sit with dragons and goblins and orcs together. Is the way of the world. I think this means we are on the right track.
I kind of just pat my blade, and I'm like, "Well, we're followers too, technically, so
I
should
I raise my hand up while you're talking.
Yeah.
I just turn and look.
At some point, I
like,
stop and they'll like look at you.
We like look.
I just keep it up.
We're just squinting.
I like lean in and high five you again. Like,
I'm just eating bread now. Like, I don't understand why you're raising your hand at all. Like, what?
It's fine. Oh, you just asked me.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
I just wanted to say something, so I thought, okay. Well, anyways, maybe it would help me to know more about what's happening if you tell me why we're here. Maybe. I kind of bow my head a little bit because I have no idea why you guys are even here or what the purpose of us being here is. So
I just look at Gahan because it's like his thing. So I'm not gonna say anything. I just keep eating the bread.
Gahan like sighs and like stabs his sword in the ground, and he walks over and he just squats on his knees so he's level with Tilly, and they're about 3 inches, their faces, and he says, "We're going to see some giant serpent deities that eat people, and they're going to help me with this package in my rucksack. And if you anger them, they'll eat you. So
You're so bad.
it's going to be fun." And then I slap Tilly.
Oh, he's like, I wanted to. Okay, I was going to respond. I said, "Well, as you slap me and walk away, I'm kind of left shitting myself again, the second time since I've been in this group. So, not literally, but yeah."
Listen, Tilly.
Chuckling.
Tilly, don't worry. As far as lizard hierarchy goes, we have to be pretty high up. We've killed basilisk, we've killed lizard men. They know we're tougher than them. We'll fit right in. Don't worry.
My only solace is that you guys are much bigger than me, so hopefully they'll skip the small snack. And then I look back up almost hesitantly, like, I didn't mean that to be rude. I just put my head back down.
Tilly.
Very nice. So you guys head on and continue in the direction of these beasts.
Yeah.
Nice. So
I have my bow out now, though. I'm definitely, especially if there's lizard men, then I'm definitely like on edge.
cautious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah. You guys end up heading on, and as you go, you start seeing more of signs of lizard-like creatures, and eventually you start seeing giant snakes sort of coiled around rocks or draping themselves from trees, things like that. Yeah. I think
as soon as I see them,
yeah,
as soon as I see them, I look at them and I kind of point and I just say, that might be the giant snakes that we were looking for. And I'm looking because they're huge to me, or at least a formidable size. Yeah. And I kind of look back at the ground and I look up and I'm like, well, maybe not.
Gahan doesn't turn around, but he just like thumbs to his back with this greatsword strapped on, and he says, "Tilly, this is a tooth from one of the serpents."
Nice. And that thing's like 6 feet long, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I pull out my bow and I just have it in my arms, like ready, and that's all I do. That's all how I respond.
Gahan, do you have the sword out?
I'm just kind of like.
It's just on your back.
Yeah, I'm just like resting it on the head of the direwolf, the hilt, and it's just kind of like resting on my back. Yeah, I don't have a sheath for it, so I kind of just lug it around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you end up climbing higher into the mountains in probably sort of mid-afternoon after another hour or two of hiking through this rugged terrain. You come to a passageway that you recognize, Gahan, as the one that leads between these 3 hills into where these serpents are. Now, as you've approached, you've seen larger and larger hot springs that have opened up and bubbled up, welling up within the ground. The air smells of sulfur, and there's not a heavy fog, but it feels very humid and warmer up here. It's kind of late fall, right? I guess it might be sort of early November, so maybe early winter even. But up here, it feels probably more like 15 degrees Celsius, maybe 50 degrees Fahrenheit, so warmer than you would normally expect. You see, humped down in the fog ahead, a large shape in the center of this path. It looks like some sort of mound of rocks.
I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Great.
All
So,
right.
and we don't see anything that resembles like the hot springs the snakes were in.
No, this is
you-
the path. This is the path leading to it.
Exactly.
okay,
you
okay.
you recognize this path actually. Like if you went up the hill to your right, you'd be on that overlook that you guys were at when you shot that arrow, Darius, that woke up the serpents the first time.
So as soon as we notice something in the way, because we can't I assume it's blocking the path because we're in relatively.
It's not
rocky
blocking
terrain.
the path, but it is prominently positioned in the center.
Right,
Of the
well, I'm
path.
not-
You'd
I'm
have
not-
like 5 feet on each side, but
Whatever it is, I'm not going around it.
I take out my bow and shoot.
Road.
No, I'm just kidding.
So, yeah, I like when we stop, I have my shield on one hand, I put my other hand up, and I look at Darius and Tilly, and I'm like, go and hide, stay hidden. You'll know if Gahan and I need you, but your resources for later.
Cool. So I would like to roll stealth then. Take advantage of any terrain.
I'm gonna roll stealth as well.
yeah, give me a.
It's
roll
all
for-
foggy and shit too, so that should help.
Yep, it's definitely terrain in
So-
which you can easily hide.
I was gonna say, so it's all foggy and easy to hide. Would you call that an advantageous situation, Stephen?
I wouldn't, because it's not dim, but it's also not like clear sight directly. Like the fog and the rocks are allowing the hiding rather than.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so the two of you are sort of going to each side of this passageway and hiding along it. Is that what's going on? What are Gahan and Grigori doing?
I'm just standing smack
Yeah,
in the middle of the
walking
path with my
down
hands
the
on my
path.
hips. Yeah.
Okay, are you walking towards
walk
the
around
thing?
like we fucking own the place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as you approach and step forwards, the pile of rocks shifts and it heaves itself up onto 4 massive tree trunk legs and it swings around, and it's this gargantuan lizard creature that is covered in scales that are hoary and cragged and covered with sort of moss on places. And it looks at you with 2 tiny beady eyes set far, far apart. It has 3 massive lance-like growths of bone jutting out of a frilled head. It looks at you and it says, "Halt."
Yeah. Let me stop.
We
I
stopped.
stopped.
We stop. Yeah, we stop.
I mean, we don't stop
I love that.
we don't stop deferentially, but we stop like we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, sure.
I'm duck. If I can, I'd like to duck behind a rock or something. Like
You're already-
Y'all are hidden, right?
yeah,
you're
well,
hidden.
Most okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
you
you
stop.
two.
It looks at you, it says, man creatures, what do you hear?
I look around. I'm like, well, men creatures, yes. Don't hold that against us. We're here to see the serpents.
And it closes its eyes, and it sort of waits for a little bit, and then it opens its eyes again, and it looks at you, Grigori, and it's sort of weaving its head back and forth. Are you like 60 feet away, 30 feet away? Like, how far are you?
Far enough that we we have some space that it can't just like charge at us. Like
Yeah.
I want to have some room.
Yeah.
But not so far.
We're
that we-
kind of yelling. Like
Yeah,
raised
we're
voices.
we're speaking at a high volume. Like we're using outdoor voice.
Yeah.
But,
We're using our outdoor voices.
yeah.
Okay. The thing is huge, right? You feel like it's very quick. So I guess you're outside of your own ranges of being able to move and then attack. Grigori, of course, you're well within your range for your guiding bolt or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it stands up, it shifts towards you, and it sort of weaves its head back and forth as it regards the two of you, and then finally it sort of sniffs the air. You. And it sort of noses its head upwards. I smell the tooth of grief upon you.
I just take the sword and I like plant it in the ground in front of me, and I'm like, yeah, serpent doesn't give out many of those, does he?
It shakes its head side to side and says, I am honored by your presence, warrior. Please, advance.
I just let out like the most relieved exhale, like audible to like anyone. He said
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I just beckon to the 2 behind the trees to join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up, and the creature looks a little bit startled. It sort of like shifts in its place. And you hear it rumbling and groaning in its chest, but it sort of settles down, and it plants its butt on the ground, and then it says, "Advance."
Okay.
I follow
Yeah.
the group.
I
as
kind of
we-
like look back over my shoulder. I'm like, don't let me ask you twice, and then just start walking.
Yeah, I start
Cool.
walking.
As
Yeah,
we walk
as you-
past, I want to wave at him, just like timidly, and then put my hand back.
Yeah,
down.
I think you have like one gargantuan beady eyeball that's sort of like tracking you as you walk past, and when you wave, it just goes.
I kind of do a little double step and like catch up with the group.
Nice. Cool.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. You pass this creature and you enter into the valley between these three hills. And it looks much the same as you remember, in that there are sort of superficially three large hot springs, and sort of coiled at the edge of each of them is a massive serpent, one white, one red, and one black. All of them, each of them very different from the other. The white one has old, craggy growths sort of dangling from its skin. It has four yellow, glowing eyes set into sort of ridged cavities in its skull. It sees you first. It's the closest one that you're approaching. And it sort of slides and rises itself up to a higher height. And it opens its mouth.
Yeah, once it's raised up and before it speaks, I lean over to Gahan. I'm like, I thought you said they were big.
Yeah. And the difference is now that you're here and you can see them, is that the three pools have been sort of gouged out and carved into one sort of trefoil sort of shape. So there's one large pool with these three sort of pods attached on the outsides. And then also in here, there's just all manner of scaled beast sort of covering the ground. There are tiny snakes and swarms of serpents and lizards. There are like what look like Komodo dragons over in a cluster sitting on a group of rocks, sort of sunning themselves and heating themselves over a small pool. There are small branches that are hanging off of the cliffs that are sort of around this thing. And there are just snakes draped in the trees, some of them 30, 40 feet long, massive beasts with girth the size of your entire chest around. And all of them sort of, it feels like they know that you're there. They're all sort of peeling away back to create a path between you and these pools as the serpent of death rises up and slides forwards in the pool.
Tilly definitely gets closer to Darius during this as we're taking this picture in, sort of subconsciously shuffling closer to Darius, almost like even bumping into his leg or his knee.
Mm-hmm.
As Tilly bumps into me, I sort of like turn around quickly, thinking it's like a snake or something. But then I see that it's Tilly, and just give her like a smile. Like,
I think yeah, Darius, when you smile at Tilly, and like Tilly, maybe you're distracted by Darius, I like grab your cloak by the back, and I like kind of pull you away from Darius, and I look at you like really seriously all of a sudden, and I'm like, don't be a coward. They can smell fear. And I like push you forward a little bit.
Oh, I sort of try to bow up, like you can see me try to visibly like get my wits about me, but you can still see my hands are trembling a little bit. So I'm
Nice.
trying to muster that courage.
Yeah.
And I give you the heartiest nod that I can muster, which probably looks something like
Tilly,
like that.
Tilly, as you sort of pull yourself up and try to, reassure yourself of what's going on, give me a perception test.
Sure.
7. Okay. Yeah. You sort of gird your strength and your resolve and step forwards and you step and you feel like a crunching sound under your foot, Tilly.
I stop as soon as I hear, like as I'm taking the step, crunch, I just stop.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I slowly look back to Grigori, and then I look down.
Yeah. There's a skeletal hand, and just to its right you see a mound that's mostly covered in lizards and serpents and stuff, and they're all slowly pulling back to reveal the corpse of some ironclad adventurer
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
there.
I scoff loudly. I'm like, "Pfft, you call that a pile of bones? I have more bones in my front hallway."
Yeah.
And
I
I shoo the snakes. I'm like, get back.
can I
So
make a
is it-
Constitution roll?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna see if
Just see if you throw up.
throw up or not.
Yeah.
This is a little. Oh,
Oh,
well,
yeah, you
it's supposed
do.
to be +2 with that, but I don't think it makes much of a difference.
Yeah. That's
I
that's
visibly
pretty
start-
bad.
That's pretty bad.
And it's like, you know, when you try to keep it in, but so you put your hand over it, but it still sprays through. That
Oh,
kind
no.
of thing is
Yeah.
what happens.
Cool.
I'm gonna approach the serpent.
Let's see. Tilly, you do notice that this unfortunate soul has a pouch attached to his belt as Gallahan strides forwards towards the edge of the lake. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to kind of fall over on my hands and knees as if I'm still retching, and
Yeah.
I want to let's see.
Just slide a hand that thing.
Yeah, I want to try to slide a hand.
Yeah, go ahead, roll. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You slide it straight into your pocket. Tilly, it contained 13 gold pieces.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, you approach. How close are you to the edge of the lake there, Gallahan?
About 10 feet.
Yeah,
10
I'm
feet?
right behind. I'm
Okay.
right behind Gahan.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
right. Well, I sort of like wait for Tilly to get back on her feet, and then I drag her along by the shoulder again, so we can
Yeah.
take or stand behind them too.
Yeah, so Death rises up to his full height out of this pool. He's probably 40 or 50 feet in the air in the center of the pool. He's, 40 or 50 feet away from you. And he gazes down at you, Gallahan, and he says, "First warrior of the serpents, you return."
I just kind of like drop to one knee, but I'm keeping the tooth upright. And
Yeah.
I just say, "Noble serpent of death, is grief home?"
The serpent of death swings his head to the black serpent nearby, and he nods. And the serpent, black, scaly, almost glistening as if his skin is coated in oil, slides over into Death's pool. Death, strangely, it sort of like recoils at the presence of the new serpent in the pool and then slides past him. And you see the bulk of these creatures creating great ripples that actually wash the edges of the pool almost up to your feet, as Death slides away over into the now vacant pool that Grief was sunning itself in. So yeah, Grief approaches. Grief is lower, and he keeps his head sort of just above the water and stretches his long body out. He's probably 20 feet away from you, keeping his head just at the edge of the pool, as far from the edge in the water as you are out of it.
You could say the other serpents are giving him grief.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
Tip your waitress.
Yeah, the serpent of grief, he simply hisses at you. And waits.
I'm sort of just cleaning myself up a little bit and standing back up, brushing myself off, and trying to get back closer to whoever's nearest.
I'm keeping
probably-
watch. I'm like watching the other serpents and the creatures nearby and all that. Because I'm not really. I should be maybe, but I'm not too terribly worried. I'm gonna let Gallahan do his thing and just make sure nothing tries to gang up on us.
I've like
Okay.
lulled my head as like the serpent of grief's approached, so I've just been like looking at the ground.
Yeah. Speak.
Noble grief, I like what you've done with the place. Very nice. I've come to seek your wisdom, actually.
Yeah, he opens his mouth and sort of stretches his jaw. And then waits.
Feel like this would interest you greatly. But I kind of like dig the sword into the ground and produce this swaddled egg, and I unswaddle it
Yeah.
and just kind of like hold it up.
Yeah, as soon as you pull the last of the cloth away from the large black opalescent egg that you're carrying. His eyes widen into big round circles and then immediately compress back into slits. He opens his mouth and you can see his long tongue come flicking out, whipping the air. You can actually hear it rocketing back and forth. And then he sort of slips his tongue back into his mouth, opens his mouth, and just sort of huffs a little bit. And then looks at you and says, "First warrior, you have done well to bring this to us. Let's take our second break." So we'll be back in 5 minutes and we'll find out what the Serpent of Grief has to say about this black dragon egg. Don't go anywhere.
Oh.